screen. My voice is clear, right? So can someone please confirm if my screen is visible? Okay, Ganesh. My voice is clear, right? Is it audible? Okay, Chaitanya. Okay, guys. Okay, guys. Thank you for confirming. So let us do a small recap. So yesterday we were discussing about conditional statements in Java. So, and again, the conditional statements are further categorized into 4 types. And we have seen many examples on top of if statement, right? And I have also introduced about the if else statement, right? We have seen the introduction part of if else statement. And when you say if statement, the syntax is very straightforward. Like you will be having a condition, right? This condition should always evaluated to be a boolean value. It should be either true or false, right? Only boolean conditions are allowed in the if condition, right? And we did several problems on top of if conditional blocks, and today we will discuss about we will see few more problems on if else statement, then we will see some interview questions on top of if else statements, right? I don't think we need much explanation on this. So let me take a small program. For example, let us do a small warm up. Integer a equal to 10, integer b equal to 20. If a plus b equal to 40, else so I have a if block and I have an else block. System.out.println system.out.println. So let me keep this as 30. I hope you will answer it correctly. Can you give two answers on this? What is the expected output that we can that is visible in the console? Everyone, keep this session interactive. What about others? Everyone are saying one. Ganesh one. Everyone are one. What about Sashwant and Raji? Okay. Let me save this. Let us perform the compilation. So for compilation, we need to open the command prompt. Open that. So D Java through Java C space test.java. So see, I know you say one, but we get error. Why we will get error? Here I have just used a single equal to operator. A single equal to operator. This is talking about the assignment operator. Assignment operators are not allowed inside the if block, right? So if this needs to get evaluated either to be true or false, I need to use double equal to operator, comparison operator. Double equal to operator is meant for comparison. Single equal to operator is meant for assignment. I wantedly ask this question. Double equal to operator is actually used for comparison, right? Single equal to operator is just like doing an assignment. Never talks about what we call it as. It is not talking about the comparison. Making sense? Why we got this error? Everyone? Making sense? Yeah. If you use single operator, single equal to operator, definitely you're going to get an error, because even though if you perform any evaluation, the evaluation should be in such a way that the output should be either true or false. Like in this case, it will not get evaluated, right? It is just an assignment, assigning this 30 to a plus b, right? The after evaluation, it is not going to be either true or false. That's why we got error, right? So the what is the output? Output is so let me include this in the notes. Okay, so now we will discuss a new topic today. New topic in the sense there are many interview questions that you can expect from this if else block. Let us discuss that one by one. Right, pay some attention here. This topic is going to create some confusion, but don't worry, I will clear your confusions. I will ensure that you will not get confused. Right. So the topic is like, so there are, okay, what are the expressions that can be used in the if condition? What are the expressions that can be used in the if conditional block? So the answer is there are two types of expressions. That could be used in the if conditional block. One is constant expression, second one is variable expression, right? So I will give you the justification of this theory. So what does it mean to be a constant expression and what does it mean to be a variable expression? What are these things? Why it has been differentiated into two types, right? So how these kind of expressions are going to help us out in what we call it as in guessing the output, right? So let us talk about the constant expression. So we know what is a constant, right? Constant is something that is fixed. It will not get changed. For example, the pi value is a constant, it will not change, right? The name of the country, our country name is India, it is going to be constant unless and until they make changes, but it is going to be constant. Tamil Nadu state is a constant. To feel that some values are going to be fixed forever, right? So they are going to be what those values can be considered as constants, as simple as that, right? So after once you reach 25 years of age, the height is going to be constant. There are no chances that our height is going to get increased. But some things are constant. Our weight is not going to be constant. Right? If you find that any value is going to be fixed forever, those values are called as what? The constants. Right? So when I say integer a equal to 100, right? So this value 100 is not a constant because this value 100 is assigned to the variable a. This is not going to be constant. For example, let us take the example of the if block itself. I have if block, right? If I say 10 double equal to 10, just look at this expression, right? I'm directly assigning 10. I'm directly doing the comparison between two values, 10 double equal to 10. So this expression is a constant expression. Right? First example 1, this expression is a constant expression. And another expression, if I take example 2, if true, this is also a constant expression. Direct values, if I assign direct values in the field of expression, we call those values as what? The constant expressions. right? These are the two examples, right? And when I say variable expression is going to be very easy. The same thing, right? The same example I am taking under the variable expression, but I am doing some changes. Instead of a, I am saying a double equal to 10, integer a equal to 10. This is a variable expression. Why this is a variable expression? Why? Because the value 10 is assigned to a variable and we are utilizing this variable to do the comparison. That's why it is called as variable expression, because when you take this 10, right, and if you do the debugging, the 10 is storing the value, the a is storing the value 10. In other words, I can say this, the value 10 is assigned to the variable a. That's why this is called as what? Variable expression, right? And when you see this, direct values are getting assigned without any variables. So 10 has no variable and this 10 also has no variable, right? That's why this is constant expression. And again, directly I am using the boolean statement true, constant expression, right? This is variable expression. And if I say boolean b equal to false, right? If b, this is what? This is also a variable expression. Why variable expression? This b is a variable, right? That's why it is a variable expression, right? Instead of using b, if I directly use false, it's a constant expression. But if I use a variable, it is going to be what? The variable expression. Just get acquainted with these terminologies. What is a constant expression? What is a variable expression? I hope it is making sense, right? So one more example under constant expression is like example 3. So there is a reason behind discussing this constant expression and variable expression. So pay some attention. It will be very interesting, right? First example is 10 double equal to 10, direct values. Any kind of comparison is happening with the direct values without any variables, constant expression. Likewise, true, directly we are assigning true. Instead of using assigning, directly I am placing the boolean value true in the conditional check. So this is also a constant expression, right? Example 3 is like, if I have a variable integer b equal to 100, right? If b double equal to 100. So now you tell me, this is a constant expression or a variable expression? Make it fast. Variable expression, correct. Variable expression, because b is a variable that is storing a value 100. That's why it is a variable expression. Hope you are able to got it. Right? But having said this, right, when I use a keyword like there is a keyword called final. When I use a keyword like final in front of the data type or before the data type, if I don't use this keyword, definitely it is a variable expression. You people are correct. Variable expression. If I don't use final keyword, right? If I use final keyword, right, even though the value 100 is being assigned to the variable, b, right? And if the if ever if you are coming across the keyword final, right, then you have to say that this is a constant expression. Don't get confused, right? We as a developer, we as a programmer, for us it is like the value 100 is being assigned to the variable, right? So we usually it is a variable expression. Without this final keyword, it is going to be variable expression. But when you use final keyword, the compiler will treat this expression like a constant expression. Final means fixed. Fixed means compiler will treat it as a what? Constant expression. It is not going to be variable expression anymore. Making sense, right? So one more example, integer c equal to 1000 if C is not equal to 2000. So now tell me, this is constant or variable? Variable expression, very straightforward, right? And if I just use the final keyword in front of integer, right? Now constant, exactly, constant, right? So try to remember this, because we are going to solve a lot of programs on top of this constant and variable expression. So pay some attention. This is going to be very interesting. Right now we got to know what is a constant expression and what is a variable expression. So example 1, example 2, example 3, example 1, and let me put this under example 2, and let me put this under example. Okay. So now let us do a small recap. So I have a variable like integer a equal to 100, right? So integer b, right? System.out.println integer b. Very simple. Integer a equal to 100. So only a declaration, right? I'm trying to access, right? What is the output now? Focus and tell me. Error, compilation error. Why compilation error? I want answers from everyone, guys. Look, Raji, Jyoti, Ganesh. Error. DIA, declaration, initialization, and accessing. So this is the concept. DIA is the what? DIA is this procedure that needs to be followed. Compiler will check DIA, right? So take this example, the paint box. This is for the people who have joined recently, right? So before even before even execution, compilation needs to be done, right? So the compiler will be checking each and every statement. Compiler will be checking each and every statement, right? So the compiler will check the first line. First line says integer a equal to 100. Integer a equal to 100, right? And the second line integer b. So it is like declaration is there, but initialization is missing. So the rules are like compiler rules. Compiler rules for a local variable. Local variable means the variables that are being declared inside a method, right? First, compiler will check for declaration. Secondly, compiler will check for what? Initialization. Thirdly, compiler will check, not compiler will check. So this is the order. Declaration should be there, followed by initialization, then accessing. That's why DIA. So these are the rules that one has to follow, right? Before even accessing a variable. These are the rules. Compiler will check each and everything, so whether the variable is declared. So in this case, first example, in the first line, the value 100 is assigned to the variable A. Value 100 is assigned to what? Variable A. Okay. Right? So this is fulfilling what? This is fulfilling two things, right? A declaration is done and initialization is also completed. So this line is talking about declaration and initialization. Both are done. The left hand side is the declaration and the right hand side is initialization. Values are getting initialized. initialization. So this is fulfilled condition. So declaration is done, initialization is done. If you want, you can access, no problem. You will not get any issues if you try to access the variable A. For example, instead of P, if I access A, I will not get any error. The output is going to be 100 itself. Right, but here I am trying to access the variable B. But here is the problem, right? I have just declared the variable, declaration is done, but where is the value? Initialization is incomplete. Initialization is incomplete, but I am trying to access that variable. I am trying to do the access, right? So if you go back to this example, right, there is no problem with this particular line. So we have performed only declaration and initialization. So let us keep it in yellow. There is no problem with this particular line. Right? The second line, okay, the person has performed the declaration. It is like, it will check each and everything. So integer B, declaration, initialization, accessing. Please focus here. It is this topic is very important. So declaration is completed. So integer B is talking about the declaration, right? But initialization is missing. Initialization is missing because value is not assigned to the variable B. That's why initialization is missing, right? And we are, without even initializing the variable, we are trying to access the variable B. We are trying to access the variable B. Without even initialization, we are trying to access the variable B. Right? So compiler will not allow this. If you want to access any variable, the variable must be initialized. Bottom line. Bottom line is, if you want to access any variable, the variable must be initialized with the value. This is the bottom line. Right? In our case, see, variable has been declared, but initialization is not done. That's why we got compilation error. Before, even without initialization, we are trying to access that variable. That's why we are getting what compilation error. So this is the bottom line. If you want to access any variable, the variable must be initialized with the value. Right? And the second line also says that if you are not accessing that variable, then declaration is okay. Declaration is fine. Right? In our example, see, I have just declared the variable, right? I did not do any initialization, right? But if I am not trying to access this variable, it is completely fine. Do we get any error for this? Answer me, yes or no? Everyone, will it compile successfully, or will we get any error? Compilation error or no compilation error? Answer me. Yashwant is saying error. What about others? Raji, Chaitanya, Darshini, Ganesh. It will be empty. It will not. There will be no error. No compilation error, guys. Let me explain it. Output will be blank. There will be no compilation error. I have said no. Just look at this point, you will understand. If you are not accessing that variable, then declaration itself is fine. You can just declare the variable, but if you are not trying to access that variable, if the statement is not there, If the statement is there, it is like accessing the variable. If the statement is not there, we are not trying to access this variable. If you are not accessing that variable, compilation will be successful. But the problem comes when you try to access. Right? So the rule of the DIA is declaration, initialization. Commonly you can do this. Declaration, you can declare the variable, you can initialize the variable. Right? And you can perform access. This is the rule. When you declare, make sure that you initialize, then you access. Right? This is fine. Or just declare. This is also fine. Both are fine. These two options are fine. Declare, initialize, access, or just declare it. Which is not fine? Declaring and initialization is missing and accessing. This is not fine. This is not accepted. Making sense? We will see few more examples. First one, Raji, making sense? First one. Okay, we will not get compilation error. I will execute this and let you know. See, no compilation error. Output is empty. Darshan is correct. Output is the compilation error comes when you try to access this. System.out.println. Now the compilation error comes. Yes or no? Tell me. Now the compilation error comes. Okay. So I am stressing a lot on this topic because this is very, very important. So now do you think we will get any compilation error in this case? Now tell me. What value we are going to get in the console? $100, exactly. What value is 100? Correct. Because you are not accessing the variable b. Yes or no? That's why. Yeah. Correct. Everyone correct. So just remember this rule. DIA, declaration, installation, accessing. So one more example. Now, what is the output now? If you answer this, it means you have understood this topic. Everyone answer it to me. Compilation error. What about Darshini, Raji, Jyoti? Compilation error, Ganesh. Compilation error. Why compilation error? We are accessing, no? Why compilation error? Answer me specifically why. Yeah, initialization after access. Yes, correct. The reason is here the rule is getting violated. So we have declared the variable, right? Then we are accessing it. Declaration is done, then accessing it, then we are performing the initialization. Violation. DAI should not be DA, it should be DIA. DIA. Before accessing this variable, it has to be initialized. We are initializing after the access. That's why we are getting error. So let me run this. So we will get the variable b might not have been initialized. So this is the error. So you might be wondering, sir, we have also done the initialization. Yes, initialization is done, but after accessing, we are performing the initialization. Should not be there. So it is like a violation. This is a violation, right? This is okay. Making sense? Not make any mistakes going forward. Okay, now we will start discussing about the topic. Okay. Good. Okay, now you answer me. Now you answer this to me. Think and answer this to me. If integer I equal to 100, okay, integer, okay, I have integer I have a variable I have a variable j. Now I am taking a if condition. inside this if condition, I'm giving a statement like I double equal to 100. I double equal to 100, right? And inside this, I am initializing j equal to 200. Please focus this. This is the not the interview question. This question has appeared in the certification examination, Java certification exam. Just try to answer this. Print ln. What is the output now? Think and tell me. Integer I equal to 100, integer j. Only a declaration is done, and I have done initialization inside the if block. I am trying to access. What is the output? Anyone? Ganesh says 200. What about others? Raji says J. Okay, Raji says different answer. Darshini. Who is missing today? Chaitanya, Darshini, Shashwant, Ganesh, Jyoti, Raji. Darshini says don't know, sir. Think, Darshini, think and tell me. I don't know. Okay, let me compile this. So we are getting this error. Java variable j might not have been initialized. Why we are getting this error? I will help you out. Blindly we will say, okay, j is declared, j again it is initialized, and we are trying to print the value of j. So blindly we will think that the output is going to be 200. But internally some kind of checking will happen. Compiler will do some checking and the JVM will do some checking. Right? Compilation will be failed. Why compilation will be failed? Let us understand that. Right? Let me go back to this paint screen. Pay more attention here. So this is our statement. This is our program that I have prepared. Right? So let us move this slides. Okay. Okay, this is the program, right? Usually, after preparing the program, we need to save the program with the tested.java extension, and the name of the file should be same as the class name. We know these things already, tested.java. After saving this file, so we need to perform compilation. Yes or no? So compiler will come into picture, right? So the job of the compiler is to check everything syntactically, whether the program is written, it is following the rules and regulations, at the same time it is syntactically correct or not. We'll check each and every statement, right? We'll check each and every line. It will check this line, it will check this line, it will check this line. Every line will be scrutinized deeply, right? Now, before even proceeding with this, now you tell me whether this is a constant expression or variable expression. This line. Whether this is a constant expression, type in the chat box. It is a constant expression or a variable expression. Now tell me. Variable expression. Yes, directly it is a variable expression. Correct, right? Now I am going to, I'm trying to explain you. When it is a variable expression, compiler will not check anything. Compiler is blind to variable expression. For example, this block, this if block will not be checked by the compiler. This if block will not be checked by the compiler. Let me write that down. Please pay some attention. Very, very important. When it is a variable expression, the compiler will not check into the if block. Compiler is blind to this block. According to the compiler, right? Compiler will check first statement. Okay, first statement is declaration is there, initialization is there. It will be very happy. It will check second statement. The second statement, j has been declared on top of integer variable. Yes or no? J has been declared on top. The variable j is just declared, but it has no value. It will check second statement. It will write it here. Okay, j has been declared. J declaration is successful. Right? Now again come to this point. Compiler is blind to this if block. Why? Because it is a variable expression and compiler will not check into the if block. It will not check into this if block. It will just check integer I. Right? It will skip this if block. And the next thing it will check is System.out.println. Here it will check j. So declaration is done. According to compiler, declaration is completed. After declaration, we are just trying to access. According to the compiler. Compiler will not know. Yes, we have initialized the value 200 to the variable j. We know that, we can see that, but compiler will not know. According to the compiler, the variable j has only two things, declaration and accessing. Initialization is missing according to the compiler. That's why we are getting compilation error. That's why it is saying variable j might not have been initialized. We are able to see that j equal 200, but compiler is blind to this statement because it is a variable expression. Compiler, it's not the job of the compiler to check the variable expression. It's the job of the JVM. Compiler is blind to this. Variable expression checking is not done by the compiler. Programs on top of variable and constant. I will give you one more example. It will be very, very interesting. Pay some attention. Now think and tell me, what will be the answer now? Whether it will be compiled successfully or think and tell me. Keep it slow. Very, very important in the interview room. Right? Take pen and paper and try to do the tracing from your side and tell me whether the j has been, whether the compiler is going to recognize the variable j initialization or not. What is the answer? Ganesh's error. Everyone focus here. Everyone has to answer something. Raji, Jyoti, Shashwant is also saying error. Ganesh is saying 100. Let us see who is correct. Darshini is saying 100. What about Raji and Jyoti? Looking for answers from you. Okay. Jyoti? It's okay, answer anything, okay? So you people are saying 100. Let us run this. Compilation is successful. Output is what? J equal to 100. I will do the tracing for you. Focus here. People who said error, for them I am doing the tracing. So this is the program, right? So the first thing is the program needs to be saved with .java extension, right, with the class name test.java. After saying, the compiler will come into the picture, right? The duty of the compiler is to check each and every line whether it is syntactically correct or not. Compiler, right? So let us assume that this is a compiler. So integer I, like, is satisfying or there is no violation. So very declaration is there as well as initialization is there. No problem with the variable I. So next thing, integer j. Only declaration is there. Compiler will keep a note. J declaration just to the declaration. So declaration is completed, right? And here we are saying if do you think JVM is going to look into this? Because it is a variable statement, right? So JVM will not ever think about evaluating this variable statement. This is a variable expression, not a constant expression, right? So after this, we have what? J equal to what? J equal to 100. So declaration initialization is completed. This is completed. Initialization is completed. The last line we are accessing J. So accessing is also completed. So rules are not violated, right? Accessing. Rules are not violated. So before accessing, it will check whether it is initialized properly or not. Of course, JVM is able to see, okay, initialization is done. Okay, this is the job of the compiler. So compilation will be successful. Compilation will be successful. Now the execution will come into the picture. After compilation, test.java file will be converted to test.class file. Right now, JVM will come into picture. Focus, guys. Very, very important. JVM will come into picture. JVM, Java Virtual Machine. Main thread will be created again. Again the repetition. Main thread will be created inside the JVM. Right? Main thread will get access to the main method again from the beginning. Execution part again will start from the beginning. Compilation is done so far. Execution. Now integer I equal to 100. Right? So the value 100 will be assigned to the variable I. 100 will be assigned to which variable? I. Right? So next line is what it says, integer j. Right? Only declaration is done, right? So no value, only declaration is done. That's why it is going to be empty for the time being. It is going to be empty. Okay. Right? And the conditional check. Conditional check is what? If I double equal to 100. So since it is a variable expression, it will be checked by the JVM. Compiler will not check. Now JVM will check. Of course, the condition is going to be not I double equal to 100. The condition is going to be true. So it will go inside the block. It will go inside the block. Inside the block, we have initialized the variable j with value 200. Right? So in the memory, 200 will be stored first. Right? Again, the control will come out of if block. Yes or no? The control has been traveling from here to here to the if block, and again it will come out of the if block. Outside the if block, we are saying we are doing the reinitialization. J equal to 100 we are saying. So this 200 will be replaced with what? 100. The last statement, we are trying to access J itself. What is the value of J? 100, right? Value of the J is what? 100. Latest value of J is 100. This will be displayed in the console. This will be displayed in the console. Making sense? Everyone? Why we got 100? Yes? No? Chaitanya, Raji, Jyoti. Is it clear? We will see few more examples. So this is going to be a long session. We will see few more examples. So now you answer me. Think and answer me. I hope you have pen and paper next to you. Think and answer. Okay, Darshini says 100. What about others? Answer, everyone answer. Raji says maybe 100. What about others? 200. Shashwan says 200, 100. Good, good. What about others? Ganesh. Ganesh has slow internet connection. We can compile. So let's start doing the compilation. Let us see who is correct. Compilation is successful. The program is correct. And with the execution, we will see who is correct. 200, 100. Answer is 200, 100. Who is correct? Rashwant is correct. I will explain you why 200, 100. Very straightforward. So these are the small examples. Tomorrow we will be discussing some challenging example that will be very, very interesting. So first we need to understand this, then we will understand the challenging example. Right? Focus everyone. This is the last example that we are going to discuss on this, and we will solve. We are going to solve a lot of problems after this. Okay. What should be the source code? How it should be saved? With .java extension, right? So it should be same as the class name, test.java. Right? So compilation, compiler will come into the picture. Let me keep the compiler small. Compiler will come into the picture. Right? The job of the compiler is to do what? It will check if there are any syntactical errors, if the program is syntactically correct or if the program has any errors or not, if it is following rules or not. Firstly, integer I equal to 100. Satisfied. Declaration, initialization is there. Integer j, declaration is there. Integer j, declaration is there. Right? So compiler will not evaluate this statement because this is a variable expression, right? Variable expression will always be taken care by JVM. Right? Compiler will check this, and it will come here. Right? Compiler finds for j the data type integer is declared and the value has been initialized, right? And the initialized value is being accessed. So all the rules are satisfied. So this part will be skipped by JVM. Yes or no? Since it is a variable expression, so this part will be skipped by JVM. JVM will not try to evaluate this expression as it is a variable expression. Right? So far, are we good till now? Say something in the chat box. Darshini, Jyoti, Raji. Okay. So compilation is successful. So no errors, the compilation is successful. Now the execution. For the execution, we need JVM, yes or no? JVM will come into the picture for execution. So, right? So JVM will usually what happens, this .java file will be sent to the compiler. Compiler will produce what? .class file. After successful compilation, .class file will be produced, and this .class file will be loaded inside the JVM. But JVM will perform the actual execution. To perform the actual execution, JVM will produce a main thread. This thread will get access to main method, and all the instructions inside the main method will get executed. Okay, focus here. First instruction, integer value 100 is being assigned to the variable I of integer type. Right? So a memory will be allocated, right, which is of I. Value is 100, I equal to 100. Right? The second line, integer j. So no value has been assigned so far for the variable j. Yes or no? It is going to remain empty. Right? Now the control will be transferred to, it will check for the condition. If I double equal to 10, comparison is happening. The value of I is 100. 100 double equal to 100. So it is going to return what? True. The condition will be evaluated and it is found to be true. So when it is true, all the instructions inside this block will get executed. Yes or no? Right? The first instruction is j equal to 200. Now the value 200 will be assigned to j. Right? And the next instruction. Wait, I'm sorry. 200 will be assigned to j. Right? And the next instruction is we are trying to print the value j itself. What is the value that is assigned in the variable j? 200. So 200 will be displayed in the console. Yes or no? This 200 will be displayed in the console. It is displayed. So the control will be transferred to the next line. Now we are saying j equal to 100. So reassign the value j to 100 now. It is 200 and 200 has to be replaced with 100. Right? On the next line, what it says, print the value of j. So what is the latest value that is available in the memory? 100. The value of j is 100. Yes or no? That's why 100 will be displayed in the console. 200, 100. Making sense? So this is the final output. Everyone? Yes, no? Darshini, Chaitanya, Raji, Jyoti. Making sense? Oh, good. But these are the questions that has been frequently asked. Okay, so what you told, if a variable means that the jump or if it will be skipped usage. Yes, this variable statement will be skipped by the compiler, not by the JVM. Understand? There are two parts. First, compilation will happen. Compiler will skip this part. But JVM, the main thread, has to execute all the statements. See, whenever you written a program, so let us assume that this is a program. This program has to go through two steps. One is compilation. Second one is execution. Compilation will check for syntactical errors. Like when you talk about compilation, compiler is going to skip this if block if it is a variable expression. Right? So compiler will take care of this DIA part, declaration, initialization, accessing. This will be ensured by the compiler. At the same time, if it is a variable declaration, it will be skipped by the compiler. But when it comes to execution, after compilation, there is one more thing that we need to focus on, which is execution. While executing the instructions, every instruction has to get executed. Making sense? It is just like, for example, if you are writing records in your college, right, or if you are preparing for any project, right, before even giving the viva, your project will be reviewed by your teacher, by your lecturer. After the revival, then you will attend the practicals, and the viva will be taken. Your project will not directly be reviewed by your project manager or the person who is coming from a different college to to authenticate or to do corrections on your project. Likewise, compiler will check for errors. If it is error free, then execution will happen. Making sense? Darshani? What about others? Do you have same doubt? Everyone? Jyoti? Okay, I will take one more example. Now tell me what is the output. Now tell me. I think program is very clear. And if you get logged out, try to rejoin it. We will have 10 more minutes. Okay, class for 10 more minutes. Now you answer this to me. Everyone got my question? This is the question. I want answers from you. Kindly keep pen and paper next to you guys. Do we get compilation error, or do we get any other thing, or do we get any output, or whether it is going to be blank? $200, sir. Okay, Shashwan says 200. What about others? I'm waiting for the answers. Okay, no one has joined it. Raji has joined. Can you answer this? I got one answer from Shashwan. Chaitanya, Darshini, and Raji. Chaitanya says error. What about others? Different answer. Darshini said compilation error. Ganesh, I'm expecting answer from you, Ganesh. Ganesh says 200. Raji. Raji. 200. Okay, let us see. Let me do the compilation. Compilation is successful. So it means that answer is 200. So this explanation is for Darshini and Chaitanya. Pay some attention here. Let me go to the paint brush. Don't think we have enough space. Okay. Focus, guys. Okay, the program has been copied successfully. Now I want your attention. Right. Firstly, it has to be saved with the test.java. After that, the compiler will come into picture. So this is the compiler. The compiler will convert the .java file to the .class file only if the conditions are met. Only if the conditions are met, the compilation will be successful. .class file will be created. The compiler has taken the role of compilation. So it means each and every line will be checked by the compiler. First line is what? Integer I equal to 100. no issues with this line because declaration and initialization is complete. No violation. Okay, this is correct. The second line is integer j. Declaration, but initialization is not done. Right? Okay, it will not. It will check all the lines. So in this case, it will note down j declaration. Right? And the third line, next line is if 100 equal to 100. Now you tell me it is a constant expression or a variable expression. First you answer this to me. Everyone, constant or variable? Constant expression. This is a constant expression because 100 is a constant. We are directly comparing the constant with a constant, right? So it is a constant expression. If it is a constant expression, its compiler job, to check the details that is placed inside this if block. Compiler will take the role of checking the constant expression, right? So compiler will check j equal to 200, right? So declaration is completed, and again it will recognize that the variable j is also initialized. So j declaration and initialization is also because it is being recognized by the compiler. Compiler is not blind to the constant expression, right? And what is the remaining line? Last line that we have is what? Accessing. What we are accessing? J. Before accessing j, is it declared? Yes, it is declared. Is it initialized? Yes, it is initialized. Now, no violation, right? No violation. So this is perfect for j. This is perfect for j. And this is also perfect for j. There is no violation. Yes or no? Right? So now what do compilation satisfies with the code, and compilation will generate the test.class file will be converted to test.java file will be converted to test.class file. The compilation is successful, .class file will be generated. Right? Now the JVM will come into picture. Now which will come into picture? JVM. Right? So JVM will this .class file will be loaded inside the JVM. Right? JVM will create a main thread. This main thread again will get access to the main method. So this is the first instruction. Right? Integer I equal to 100. So we know what happens. Right? A memory block will be created. Value 100, which is assigned to the variable I. It's simple. Right? And the second instruction, just declaration is integer shape. No problem. I'm sorry, just declaration. J is just declared, right? Whether or not it is constant or variable expression, once it is compiled, the job of the JVM is to execute each and every instruction. So it will do the comparison. 100 double equal to 100. It will get evaluated, and the output is the boolean evaluation is going to be true. So when it is true, this control will get inside this block, if block. But it will find the j equal to 200, right? So the 200 will be stored inside the variable j. Right? Now it will come out of the if block. The last instruction is accessing. What is being accessed? J is being accessed. What is the value inside the j? 200. 200 will be displayed in the console. Making sense? Everyone? Yes, no? Darshani, Raji, Chaitanya. Okay, you have answered it correctly. Yeah. So the takeaway is very simple. So we have understood, previously we have understood what is a constant expression, right? And what is the variable expression. With this understanding, we have also understood how to guess the output when it is a constant expression. What are the things that are happening internally with the constant expression? What are the things that are happening internally with the variable expression? Yes or no? Example. Right? So I can say that constant expression of recognized by the filer whether or not it is a constant or variable expression, all the instructions will be executed by the KVM. Right? Constant expressions are recognized by the compiler, but not the variable expression. However, whether or not it is a constant or variable expression, all the instructions will be executed by the KVM. Making sense? Right? So this is not the conclusion. So we have so many problems to be discussed. Right? So just practice this, repeat this video once again. Right? Tomorrow we will solve a lot of problems on this constant expression and the variable expression. Any questions for me? Dashini, Chaitanya, Ashwant, Raji and Ganesh. Any questions for me?